standing here in this really mysterious, ancient, well, it's got to be a building, but it's so old. It's here by Lake Vänern. It's way before the Viking Age. And nobody seems to know what it really is, but these are massive rocks. And there's talk of it being sort of a smelter, but to me, I mean, this is big industrial sized smelter. It looks more like a dwelling. You know? And there's several we've passed on the way down there. So what are they? Who made this? This is the land of the gods here. I think it was the Aesir.
See, there's a lookup point above the rocks. There's like a
oh yeah, I see it.
Wooden structure.
So how do they get up there? So after coming up from Halleberg where we saw the standing stones, we arrived at the secret spot. And to say I was blown out, it's an understatement. These are three massive landforms, sheer cliffs rising straight out of the plain. The first big, large, round one's called Asgard. The next one, significantly, is called Odin's Lookout. So Odin was keeping a lookout for maybe the giants or the Vänern here. And then behind it, where we're heading, is Valhalla. It's more triangular in shape and it backs right onto the great lake, Lake Vänern, where the goddess took the land from Gylfi. So this is the royal manor of the royal family, and that's their hunting lodge all up the top, which is now open to the public. And when you look at these maps, you'll see Huneberg, Asgard, is quite round, and it really reminds me of Troy from the air. It's concentric circles. You can imagine a great circular structure there. And there's Halleberg right on the lake, Valhalla itself. Now, this is up in the museum. It says that Halleberg and Huneberg, here the gods lived. Few mountains in Sweden are as legendary as Halleberg and Huneberg. When you approach them from a distance or walk along them, you are struck by how dramatic, powerful and magical they are. They certainly seemed even more powerful to those who settled here a few thousand years ago. As impregnable, they must have been perceived by invaders with power and murder in mind, however numerous and however strong the hordes of warriors were. Now another sheet says, in English, Odin searched for a long time for a place where he could live and live well, together with the other Alsa gods, that's the Aesir. After a long journey, he finally found excellent land and plains at Hall, the mythical mountain we call Halleberg today. There he had Asgard and Midgard built, as well as one of the largest ancient cities in the whole of Svithjoth, which is the old name for Sweden. From Häcklan, which is Odin's lookout, indeed from the whole of Hall, he and his Aesir had a great view, and they could look over the small magical lake called Odin's Dam. He looked from his high seat all over the worlds. Just next to the foot of the mountain he saw a large burial ground, and in the centre of this burial ground was the mighty judgment ring, Halstedet Stenner, a holy place surrounded by a beautiful temple grove. Apologies for my Swedish, because I don't speak Swedish, that I can guess in an Icelandic way. So we drove in, went up to the car park in Valhalla, and as we got out, we saw a sign with a strange symbol, a bit like a pitchfork. And this was just a sign saying, please don't pick the flowers or damage the vegetation, from the Swedish forestry. This is an ancient structure here near Lake Vänern on the top of a mountain, very unusual, called Valhalla. And this area belongs to the royal family of Sweden and has for umpteen generations. It's an open public park, but here's a structure just coming down this track. It's obviously something big and heavy, and it's probably very old. So, great mystery. We're walking down to see Lake Vänern, which is the lake that was dug out of the ground by Gefjon and her 4 ox-like things, which I think were great big machines, as I talk about in Alien Abduction, Viking style, part 1 and 2. But essentially this is the place where Odin sent Gefjon, the goddess, or the Aesir woman, to grab the land. And just this lake here is where she took the land out and put it in the middle of the Sound and made the island of Zealand, which is now where Copenhagen is in Denmark. And I've just been discovering here with my friend Karl the most incredible things. Today's been a day of wonders. Yesterday was as well. But Karl's just shown me some incredible stuff, and he's got many brilliant insights, and it's so good to be working with a Swede who can translate things for me. And some of the stuff that I'll be revealing from what I've learned from him is going to blow your mind. So we're going to keep walking, and I'll show you the lake next.
You got tons of gold in the snow. This whole mountain must have been a quarry, basically. Area, so I'm like thinking it might be
So
part of an old mine shaft.
there's probably an entrance somewhere here to the inside of the...
Yeah, I'm thinking that might be, you know, like
That could even be the entrance.
If we have a shaft, like we're like, you know, on a trolley or whatever you call it, like bringing up things like modern mines, you don't want branches and water to fall down, you know, like, so you have to build like the structure above the entrance of the mine shaft. That's what we've always done. And I think that this might be such a structure. There's like leftovers from another next to it. And I've been down to the sea, and there you can find like, yeah, arranged rocks like foundations of more than these.
So it looks like there's 3 here. Yeah. This one intact. Do you think somebody purposely caved that in, or it might have just been natural?
Yeah, but I've been to like other Viking age smelters and stuff, and yeah, it looks like that in a way. But I'm thinking about why they put it here, because they were melting metals.
Yeah. That's a big one, sort of caved in, isn't it? It's all there, the same stuff piled
Looks
between
as
the
if
big
it's
rocks.
up on the roof of the structure as well. Yeah, because you didn't build this sort of
So why would it be there?
Some even I've seen this referred to as a like city.
It's referred to as a city sometimes, apparently, on official Swedish signs.
Not the same type, but a very similar stone material, and it's very easy to dig yourself inside a mountain.
Is it shale? Is that the word? Well, I think we call that shale in English.
Yeah, it might be. No.
But this thing, look at that. It's just, it's got such a solid, nice corner.
There's, I don't remember this sign being...
Ancient civilizations. You never know, mate. This could be an ancient civilization. It's just amazing.
Yeah, like on our way here, we did find, you know, like actual ore and metals. This is much more valuable than...
But they don't look like smelters or something. They look like actual somewhere where you live.
Yeah.
How would you move these? It's really...
I guess you could say you could, since like I said, they'd probably move them downhill, so you could like,
You could roll them.
yeah, roll them in ways.
They look like they might break on the way down.
Yeah, because they're really brittle, so you have to be really careful. So this is probably the shark stone. I don't know. So they call them shark stone ovens because they're made out of shark stone.
Who calls them ovens?
It's the only. There's a sign here. Look what it says. It wasn't here the last time I was. They've been putting it up now.
Could you just step that way? Thanks, mate. I'm just filming my conspiracy theory. This is insane. I'm standing here in this really mysterious, ancient, well, it's got to be a building, but it's so old. It's here by Lake Vänern. It's way before the Viking Age. And nobody seems to know what it really is, but these are massive rocks. And there's talk of it being sort of a smelter, but to me, I mean, this is big industrial sized smelter. It looks more like a dwelling. You know? And there's several we've passed on the way down there. So what are they? Who made this? This is the land of the gods here. I think it was the Aesir. This is very exciting.